Welcome to Dark Knight Films Reviews. I'm your host, that's Spease. And today we're doing another ranking video. This time I will be ranking the 4 films in the Hammer Mummy series. So, much like the Dracula and Frankenstein videos that I've done, this one I will be ranking all 4 of these films from the worst to the best. So, what do you think of the Hammer Mummy movies? Leave comments down below. Let me know what your rankings for these are. And, as usual, if you like these videos, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Anyway, coming in at number 4, we have Blood from the Mummy's Tomb from 1971. Now, I was kind of interested in seeing how this movie was going to turn out because I knew that it had a female mummy in it, so I was hoping, that Hammer was going to knock this out of the park the way they did Frankenstein Created Woman, which was really great in its premise, which is this one has kind of a similar premise, but and also something that made it seem very promising to me was Andrew Keir is the star of it, alongside the actress playing his daughter in it, Valerie Leone. And unfortunately, it is not as good a movie as Frankenstein Created Woman. And we do not get as great a performance for Andrew Keir as we got in Dracula, Prince of Darkness. The weakness of this film is Valerie Leone. Valerie Leone is not a very good actress. She's very attractive, but unlike Frankenstein Created Woman, this actress just is not a very good actress, and she, being the lead of this film that we are supposed to be following on this, where the mummy is possessing her body and going around and killing all the people that desecrated the tomb of the female mummy, which we don't even get a mummy in this, because when the tomb is opened, she's not even wrapped. She looks like Valerie Leone, which is stupid. So yeah, it had a promising premise, but they let it down. This ends up going the way of Brides of Dracula and Dracula's Daughter, where without the character you're watching this for, with Brides of Dracula not having Dracula, and Dracula's Daughter not having Dracula, and this not having a real frickin' mummy in it, it really is piss poor. So, yeah. I hate that it sucks, but it's bottom of the list. Coming in at number 3, we have The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb from 1964. Now, this one has a very, especially for being the second film in the series following The Mummy from 1959, this film has basically no real name talent in it other than Fred Clark, great character actor who played in many movies and TV series throughout his illustrious career. And he steals the show in this film because he's the only one that anybody really recognizes in it as the character of Alexander King. And he just, while he's on camera, he is the focal point, and he is just a fun character. He's extravagant, he's over the top, and he's just fun. The Mummy is played by Dickie Owen in this. And he's, for having a weird name, he's pretty physically imposing as the Mummy. And he has some good moments where he, gets to kill some people and everything in here. And it's pretty, physically, he is pretty good in here. Not the best Mummy, but respectable. But nothing else is memorable with this one. Like I said, most of the other actors in this are not as well known. It doesn't have any real name talent in this film. So it comes off as cheaper than what we got with The Mummy from 1959. So as being a direct sequel to that, a direct follow-up after that, that's... and it's really not even a sequel because it tells its own story. It has nothing to do with The Mummy from 1959. That's another drawback for the film. So, yeah, that's why it's my number 3. Coming in at number 2, we have The Mummy Shroud from 1967. Now, this being the third film in the series, you would have thought it would have dropped in quality from The Mummy and The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. But you would be wrong. Even though this film does not have, much like Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, it does not have any real name talent in this film. And ironically, it brings back Dickie Owen, who had played the Mummy in The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, to play a character named Prem in the prologue to the film. This is the character that does become the Mummy later on. But the Mummy, later in the movie, that is supposed to be Prem, is played by an actor named Eddie Powell. Kind of weird, but, it's nice to see that Dickie actually got to play a character physically on screen and everything, where you're seeing his face and not just a bunch of bandages on him and stuff, So, and Eddie Powell is very good physically. He's probably the second most badass mummy in this series. And the storyline for this one and where the mummy is killing these characters and everything, it's very similar to The Mummy from 1959, but it has its own little tweaks to it that make it unique in its own little way. And it's still a strong film, even without having a major cast in it. I think the irony with all of these Mummy movies, though, is I believe actor Michael Ripper, great character actor, great British character actor, and I think he plays in every one of these Mummy movies. So that's a nice bit of trivia there for you. But yeah, The Mummy Shroud is a very good Mummy movie. Definitely good to be the second spot on this list. And coming in at number 1 on the list is The Mummy from 1959. This film with Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. I'm going to come right out and say it. This is the best mummy movie I have ever seen. The acting in this, the storyline on it, the way Peter Cushing plays his character, he's so likable and he's so believable as his character of Banning. And he just does a really good job in this film, as usual. I mean, Peter was always strong when he's playing a character, even if he's playing a small character in something like an anthology, which he did for the Amicus films and everything. He was great. This is so good. And the best and the most physically badass mummy we have ever had, with Christopher Lee as Keir. He was great in the scenes where he's playing Keir back in the Egyptian times. And when it comes forward to where he is the mummy, when he comes out of there, he does not move too slow. He does not move too fast. He is a perfect, where he moves fast enough to be scary as the mummy. And he's so big, you know, because, I mean, as I've said before, the reason he was so good is, you know, Dracula, he's this physically imposing character. The reason he made a good Frankenstein's monster in The Curse of Frankenstein was he's a physical giant in the film. Nobody's as big as him. And this, playing the mummy, this big man playing this mummy, I mean, he is just physically imposing as the mummy. And when he kills somebody, he is intense. I mean, he was so good in this film. It sucks that he only stuck with Dracula. I would have loved to have seen him, you know, come back in other mummy movies in this series, because he was such a physical presence. I mean, like I said, Eddie Powell was good in The Mummy Shroud, and Dickie Owen was okay in The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. But nobody, and I mean nobody, even these Stephen Sommer action adventure Indiana Jones style films, as much as I love Arnold Vosloo, your CGI version of the Mummy is nowhere near as badass as Christopher Lee was. So that's my list. Let me know what you think down below. Do you agree with my list? What are your rankings of these 4 films? And as usual, if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because it really does help the channel out a lot. And again, we are still in the Halloween season. We are still in October, and there are still more to come. So keep an eye out. Thanks for watching.